Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Raw Cloud. Today I wanted to do a recap of the Raw Law of One timeline, where the avian humans have their own timeline, just like this timeline, where there's reptilian genetics within the human population. Well, in this Law of One timeline, there are humans with avian genetics within their human societies worldwide. Now, I'm only going to recap on the things that I did not get to mention and polish up on the details so that you guys can understand how this timeline, the avian humans live. Now, I've lived as an avian in many timelines. I also meet with the blue avians in a space that is reserved just for us. And I've said that in my past videos, where we'll go into like our own pocket reality. It's almost like a bubble just reserved for us to have these meetings. And there will be a blue avian, and we are telepathic when we speak. I mentioned that in my past life. Now, I had no human genetics whatsoever. I was humanoid, but I had no current human genetics when I was an avian in a past life. This particular timeline is just like this one that we currently live in, but everybody look human. The only difference is they are avian genetics within the human population. So, and that comes with a lot of abilities that are turned on, not like how our abilities are turned off here in this timeline. And the only reason why our abilities are turned off, because it was done on purpose for control. So let me polish up on what I didn't get to mention in the Law of One timeline. The Raw timeline. The negative forces aren't going to like me saying this. The Raw timeline, I'll explain what I didn't get to mention. They're ahead of our current timeline as far as ascension. They believe and live by balance and unity conscience. You could be in a relationship, but they don't live by control over others in any type of way. Meaning, they're open to love making between a man and a woman. They live by the divine creation source, God purpose between man and a woman. No judgment or criticism, crimes, killing, or backstabbing of any kind. So when I popped in that timeline version of myself, I had no idea what was going on. I brought my own belief from this timeline into the avian human timeline. And you know how we are here. Criticize and judge everything. We come from the system of control right down to our own relationships, where we've been conditioned to think we control a woman or a man. The avian humans are way ahead of our current conscience. They seek no control of others. They live with no government structure, just unified, unconditional love for each other. The raw collective timeline from land to sea, one without population. The air is clean, no chemtrails. Their streets are clean, no trash anywhere. They take care of everyone and their planet. So you can see how that conscience of the avian humans live, how they live. Now, they are going to reach ascension before us because their conscience level is one without control. They don't criticize each other. They live in a unconditional love for everyone. They respect each other. And as I said before, when I went into that timeline, I brought the current conscience. Now, I'm thinking that I'm living a good life here. You know, I'm thinking that I am unified with everyone, but as you can see, how different it is when you get there. Like when you jump from our current conscience and you go into a unified conscience, we still hold on to a lot of things. And I'm talking just me. Now, this girl, she was my girlfriend, but we live by control systems here. And I brought that conscience with me there. So it didn't seem right for me to see that. But this is how they live. They live without control over others in anything. They live in unconditional love and they are unified. They don't criticize. They don't backstab. They don't do any of that stuff. They live by the law of one. I know the law of one, but to actually see people living by its purpose was very different, very different. Now, I'm not saying that we are not going to reach that. We are currently reaching that, but there are still distractions as we move on our journey into this unified field of conscience. As we move into that unconditional love for each other, we are going to have to do away with some of the things that we are currently living by. And that means, talking about people, criticizing them, just being negative. Sometimes we think that we are doing the right thing, or we may have like a coworker, and they may be saying some things about you. You may have to never mind what people are saying about you and just move away from that, hold that unconditional love, because they are not ready for where you're going. They're not ready for it. So why hold yourself back because of how someone else is portraying their own life or living by their own life? We should not criticize them for their path. Just know that their path doesn't serve us a purpose if we are going to be moving or merging into what I can say is the people that are not ready. Eventually, you'll see them move out of your way, out of your life, because we are merging on an individual base into a timeline when we are ready for that that more positive timeline. And it's always going to be positive how things are moving now. It's just that people conscience is still going to be slowing them down. They're not going to be at a standstill. It's just that they are going to slowly be moving towards that more positive timeline. So anyway, I don't want to drag this video on. I wanted to give you guys that the part that I had to step back and see without judgment, without criticism, how the avian humans live within this timeline. And I'm glad I went there. I'm so glad I went there because I had no idea that there was actually an avian human timeline. But you got to think too that we live in a multi-dimensional universe where Source God is going to have things of this nature so that we all live. And everyone that I'm speaking to here right now is living in that timeline where there are no reptilian genetics, there are avian human genetics. So if I can go there and live and see that other timeline version of myself, then you guys are most definitely are there living in that timeline as well. I am not the only one. You guys are there as well. And I think a large part of the human population here is also living there. So it's just something to think about. And, I just feel like no matter what I go and see, I'm not going to water it down just so it fit our current conscience. You guys need to get it all, see it all. Every detail is very important for our current conscience if we are going to expand and grow. So once again, I love, honor, and respect all of you guys. Enjoy the weekend. Have a good day.